We've been saying for some time that the risk to the economy is more on the side of deflation than inflation. So,
hey everyone, Coach Investor with the last video of the year. So, inflation, tapering, interest rates going higher. What you're going to do about it? 2022 is, in my opinion, going to be a great year for stock picking. That means that if you have quality companies in your portfolio, you'll do well. In the last 2 years, it was either everything goes up regardless of the company's performance, or most of the things go down regardless of a company's performance. 2022, that's all going to change. Now, touching on what Cathie Wood just said, and again, just because it's Cathie Wood does not mean that it will happen 100%, just so we're clear. So although she acknowledges that we are now in an inflationary environment, she fears deflation going forward because there are a couple of industries for the first time ever actually that are going to disrupt everything we do today, whether it's robotics, blockchain, genomics, AI, or energy storage. All of those industries will get disrupted, which means that companies that do not follow along, that do not want to innovate, in order to survive, they will have to cut prices. They don't cut prices, they won't sell anything, they'll run out of business. If a lot of those big companies start cutting prices, what you have, not inflation, but deflation. Exactly. Obviously, this is not going to happen overnight. It will take some time, but disruption is happening. And that's why I especially invest in growth companies, companies that are here to innovate, here to disrupt age-old industries. Am I looking at it in the short term? No, I'm here for the long term. Now, why am I so bullish going into 2022? Well, I'll show you a couple of graphs and maybe you'll understand. So this is the Dow Jones. As you can see, it has been a great year. We reached all-time highs again. So you might ask yourself, okay, since we reached all-time highs, maybe we're due to a small crash correction. Fine. Let's go to the next one. The S&P 500, also incredible year. We're now at all-time highs again. Same question. Maybe correction is due. What's going on here? Let's go to the next one. The Nasdaq, also a good year. We had some little crashes here and there, but now we're very close to reaching all-time highs again. So you might be asking me why you're so bullish if everything is at all-time highs. Well, if you watched the Brian Feroldi video about their portfolio, their performance, you might have seen something there. They show how big of an influence the big tech companies have on those indexes or indices. I don't know, maybe you can say both. But anyways, if you look at just the biggest companies in the world, they do weigh a lot on those indexes. That means if those companies perform very well, the whole index will probably perform extremely well as well. But that does not mean that all companies in the market are performing well. If they have an influence on half the index or maybe 1/3 of the index, that's already enough to take it higher. Since there are such big companies, the impact on those indexes are going to be bigger than you can imagine. So to put it in simple words, just because the Nasdaq, the Dow, the S&P are at all-time highs, does not mean we cannot go higher, especially with a lot of those growth stocks. As I've showed you in my past video, but I'm going to show you here again. I've picked out around 40 stocks. As you can see, most of them are down 50, 40, 30% or so. The big ones here are down top 10%, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% or so. But the average is down 40%. 39.06, yes, but it will be updated pretty soon. So in my opinion, yes, we already had a correction in growth stocks. Multiple compression already happened and started to happen already in February of 2021. So to say and just to look at the S&P, the Nasdaq and say we're at all-time highs, it will not go any higher because it's already so high. It's a bit confusing and maybe a bit misleading because if you look at all the companies, some of them aren't even in the S&P 500, by the way. Most of them are down this year. Yes, they had an incredible 2020, but I do expect the great companies to perform extremely well going forward because right now, like I said at the start of this video, we're going into a stock picking market, and a stock picking market is a much better environment for long-term investors. And the last two things, which has to do obviously with high valuations of high growth stocks, and that's the fact that the number of companies going public has been extremely low in the last couple of years. Yes, we had a big boom of IPOs and SPAC this year and last year. But with all that has happened in the last 10 years, 15 years or so, that means that not a lot of companies are going public, especially not a lot of attractive companies going public, but there is so much money. If there is not enough choice, but a lot of money, you can already assume what happens. A lot of money goes into a couple of particular companies, so automatically the valuation goes higher. Now, that does not mean that you need to buy those companies, and that does not always justify the company's valuation. Just wanted to make that clear, but it has been a problem in recent years. More companies are staying private longer because there is so much money also in the private market. So why would they go into the public market, be scrutinized, etc.? And lastly, with regards to what Cathie Wood said, with regards to inflation, deflation, what the effects will be in the long term are going to be a bit confusing at first, because if we're innovating and disrupting industries, a lot of people will probably lose jobs, which will result probably in a lower GDP in the short term, but in the long term, productivity will increase, which will create wealth. Hopefully by then politicians won't be as corrupt as they are today, so the wealth will be distributed correctly. And what would that mean? Higher GDP. I believe Ark expect the GDP to be at around $40 trillion in 2035, 2040 or something like that, which is higher than the estimate. So all of the disruption, maybe we should call it innovation, is going to take some time, is going to confuse a lot of people, is going to disrupt a lot of industries. Lots of people will lose their jobs. If you're a parent or if you're young, maybe start thinking about the future, maybe start educating your kids in a way that they will have to participate. They will have a easier way to participate in the new society, in the new economy that will be created, whether that's going to be engineering, data, AI, blockchain. You get to choose what you want to do, but just keep that in mind. Overall, I'm extremely bullish going forward. I have no intentions to buy gold or put everything into cash. And that will be it for this video. I wish you all a happy new year. Hopefully 2022 and forward will be incredible. Hopefully we'll get out of this pandemic already and get back to our normal or new normal lives. That will be it for this video. If you liked it, consider leaving a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, maybe hit that subscribe button. And as always guys, take care, stay safe, and see you all in the next video. Bye bye.